Next we have Kyrus Malek. Yes. Kyrus Malek is performing as this year's Bagley Poet. Kyrus is a 21-year-old queer and asexual trans man. He is a chronically ill and disabled person who loves spreading awareness for their conditions. They also like using poetry to help cope with their life. They like reading, drawing, and listening to music. Let's make some noise for Kyrus Malek! Yeah.
Hi, there's three pieces. I hope you guys enjoy them. Um, Fear. Fear is the reason for my sleepless nights. It sits on my chest while I lay in bed, suffocating me. It breaks my ribs, punctures my lungs, screaming every anxiety, the silly ones and the ones buried. I don't speak them out loud, in fear of making them into reality, making it my fault, making my hollow words and mere existence the reasons for someone's pain, as if I was ever believed that it's not. It is the reason for my loneliness. Fear travels to my head, wraps its hands around my brain, and tightens, expresses its hate, telling me that I've let people down, that I don't deserve them. Louder? Okay, sorry. Not allowing fear travels to my mouth, not allowing me to breathe, to speak, making me keep it inside, expressing its disappointment in me. Fear travels down to my heart, clenching it harder, breaking it with every each word. It tells me that I'm going to be this sick forever, that I'll get worse. I'll never have answers, reminding me of how life used to be. How younger me was happy, barely went to the doctors, played sports, did dance and theater. Fear made its way to my feet, melting me to the concrete, unable to run, to dance, to walk, to stand. Keeps me from going further, stuck in the same spot, stuck in despair. Fear never sat on the couch with me. Fear never watched TV and laughed with me. Fear engulfed me. It was meant to be my protector, but it morphed me into stone. Fear took away my life. It disabled me. One day, I'll walk up to fear and ask to watch TV, but it won't be today. Okay. Thank you. Okay. When your daughter becomes your son. I wanted a mother-daughter relationship, the one that I saw in movies, the one where I can tell her all of my secrets, tell her about the boys that I had crushes on. She wanted a mother and daughter relationship too. One of pretty dresses and bows, long hair for her to braid. That's what she always told me growing up. I used to do everything I could to make it possible to get that mother-daughter relationship, one full of love. I strained myself thin to her expectations until there was nothing else left for me to give. At 13, our mother-daughter relationship changed. Soon enough, mother-daughter turned to mother-son. My mother already had a mother-son relationship. She had a pair of them to be exact. The one where they tell her about girls, where she would teach them how to tie a tie, teach them how to be a man. She didn't want a third. This mother-son relationship was too different. Apparently, when your daughter becomes your son, you no longer have neither. The little girl she had is now considered a hurtful memory of a parent corpse while she ignores the thriving man standing in front of her. When your daughter becomes your son, you learn that how to become a man is a flawed idea. That masculinity is not defined by a lack of weakness or how well you can take a punch. She learned that becoming a man means something else, something that she did not like, that when your daughter becomes your son, she stops being scared of her grip. He starts to see his power, even when she tries to smother it. When your daughter becomes your son, he learns to enforce his boundaries, even when she says he isn't fun anymore. When your daughter becomes your son, he learns to be a good man. He fights for his own happiness, his own safety, his own life. See, I wanted a mother-daughter relationship. She acted like she wanted it as well. The mother-daughter relationship I wanted was one full of love and support, but the mother and daughter relationship she wanted was one where she called the shots, where she had the power. And I had hoped for a mother-son relationship. Again, I would have strained myself thin, given her every last bit of me like a tube of toothpaste, squeezing out every last bit, and then some, giving her everything that I had. I had hoped for a mother-son relationship. Maybe she would have been fine with another, but just not with me. I wanted a mother-daughter relationship, but when your daughter becomes your son, he learns that he does not want a mother-son relationship, nor does he need it. not from you, but because of you. I was talking to my mother about my poetry. There are works that she can never read, words that entail the parts of her that she hides, who only shows to me in private, parts of warrant to keep in silence. Unaware to her that poetry is my safe space. For me, poetry is processing, coping, surviving. I've talked about my thoughts and fears hidden behind a smile on my face, only allowing it to sprout into the words that I write on the page. My poetry is the only way I can allow myself to say, I'm not okay. I read her a poetry of mine, a piece about fear, the way it clings to my lungs, suffocating my mind. She tells me I get my poetry from her. I guess she's right, but not in the way that she believes. I did not get my poetry from sharing her DNA. I use poetry to cope with life, to cope with the screaming and berating in my mind that makes up every single second I am alive. The biggest thing plaguing my mind and pulling on the strings of my life, trying to silence me, is her. Mother, I have made myself smaller, ignored my needs, changed who I was in hopes of acceptance and love. I would have been fine with a sliver, but it is something that you were never even willing to offer. I use my poetry as a way to cope. It was a way to deal with everything you put me through, everything I am because of you, so mother. You say I get writing poetry from you. I can't say you're correct, but I also can't say you're wrong. Because I didn't get my poetry from you. I get my poetry because of you. Thank you.